Sometimes you discover more than you ever imagined while riding the backcountry trails of the West. I'm Darren Kinder, and today on At Your Leisure, Jill and I stumble upon a town that acts as a time machine. The history is amazing, and the four-wheeling is even better. We'll take you on a tour of both.
Then come with me, Stephen Human, as I hear the stories of one impressive landscape while adding my own in the process. We're writing history for our travel adventure.
Lastly, Reece finds solace at one Civil War battlefield. AYL starts right now. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Darren Kinder.
And I'm Jill Kinder.
And today we are up here, just out in Tooele County, just outside of Ophir, up here in the Oquirrh Mountains, just having a great time.
It is just gorgeous up here. I don't know that I've ever been, actually, well, I've never been in this trail, but this is up above Ophir, which is outside of Tooele.
Yeah, the huge metropolis.
Well, no, but it is a cute little town, and I hope we get to go back and take a look at it later. But this is just amazing, and we've got a whole bunch of people with us, and we're all having a good time and getting dusty.
Yeah, and Steadman's today is having a customer appreciation ride. We got a couple of Steadman girls with us, and you know, even though we're going too slow for them, you know, we're still having a good time, aren't we? Yeah. All right.
So we're having a good time, and I think everybody's getting antsy, so we better go check out the rest of the trails.
Well, we're really excited. This is our first attempt at putting a lot of our side-by-side and ATV off-road enthusiasts together, and we're up here in Ophir, which is kind of a little hidden gem in Tooele County. Ophir is a mining town. That's what it originally was. So there's lots of ore, lots of rich minerals in the area. So it's been around for a long time, but it's also, it opens up into some really beautiful country back in the back country here, and it connects with a lot of the other canyons that are in behind Tooele. If you're in Ophir and you wanted to go out towards 5 Mile Pass, towards all that Prospector Square complex is pretty close.
It is a very beautiful canyon. It's kind of secret. The bottom of the canyon is tight and narrow, and you don't really realize how big it opens up once you get up here. It opens up, and there's just lots of old mining roads and historical markers and things that you can go check out.
Could you imagine the courage it must have taken to go inside one of these mines back in the 1800s or something?
Today's going to be a little different for the business, because we got all three of us Steadmans that are running the place up here today. So we'll see how bad we get in trouble when we get back on Monday. But
there's so many different people here. We got kids, we got adults, we got older people, we got younger people, and that's one thing that's great about our business is it's not an age concentrated event.
We get the kids out of the house, go and enjoy time together. We always seem to joke and laugh and be a lot happier when we're out riding together than when we're just sitting around the house.
I think it's brought our family closer. Like, ever since all of us have been able to go out and ride, every time we go out and ride, we've just been closer and happier as a family.
It's a little chilly, but...
You guys need to be a little more excited. You're going for a motorcycle ride. Oh, were you doing something?
Yes.
So it's really good to be with my family, you know, my extended family. I'm always with my wife and kids, but they're always tagging along. But David and Kirk and their family, it's fun.
Well, there's no better way for me to spend a Saturday than going out four-wheeling with my family. And this has just been a great ride with Steadman's. We're out here in Tooele County, and there are so many cool places to ride out here, I can't even tell you. We're going to be checking out the town of Ophir here in just a little bit. And but right now, you need to check out the travel adventure.
Wayne County, Utah. The exposed landscape surrounding the valley is more than just photographic eye candy. Every layer of stone in the Red Rocks tells a story. Every twisting tree in the arid landscape can tell a survivor's tale. These mountains have watched the earliest settlers in this valley grow and have witnessed many generations come and go over the years. Today, I set off along the Velvet Ridges to discover these stories.
You're on the Velvet Ridges of the Fish Lake National Forest, overlooking the Fremont River and the valley of the Fremont River. Well, originally this trail was built for mining expeditions back in the late 50s and early 60s for uranium. And so that's why the trail exists here, and now it's maintained by the Forest Service and by the state of Utah.
Some of the earliest pioneer history was right here in Wayne County. We had some A.K. Thurber and Beeson Lewis came here in 1870 and started running church cattle here. And that was kind of what brought the rest of the pioneers into this area, because the grazing was so good.
If these rocks could speak, they could tell us tales further back than the earliest pioneer settlers, though. We would hear tales of native tribes who hunted atop both Thousand Lakes and Mount Boulder. Millions of years before that, we would hear the story of their creation as the ocean at one time flooded this entire valley. The rising and falling of the roaring seas over millions of years created the masterpiece of color and stone seen today. All that time was worth the wait, however, as the unique ridges, canyons, valleys, and rock formations continue to attract not only visitors like myself, but people who find so much beauty in the landscape they can't help but call this place home.
Look at the camera behind me. Never want to leave because of the scenery and the good place we live. Fun to ride. The red rock and then the green is just beautiful. I like the very first part of the trail when you can overlook down into the Bicknell Bottoms and also see the river down below to the south of you.
Our journey began today at the trailhead, which is paved with red sand and quickly adorned with harsh, jutting black rocks. In stark contrast to the stone was the sparse vegetation thriving along the ridge. There were occasionally some rocky moments, but all in all, the ride can be enjoyed by new and experienced riders alike. When coming closer to the mountain face, precursors to the Velvet Ridges began to come into view. It's difficult to describe the color of these foothills. At first glance, they appear almost emerald, but when you get closer, they turn a few shades purple. Up close, you can see it's a perfect combination of these two colors, as well as many others. This is a trail that truly has something for everyone, and not just in the scope of landscape.
Here behind me is the Velvet Ridges, where motorcycle riders come to enjoy, as well as four-wheelers and side-by-sides. And this particular trail that we're on here today on this side is not a 50-inch trail like some of them. This one allows wider ATVs to go across this particular area of the trail.
These mountains have witnessed millions of years of stories and have been the perfect backdrop for each tale. However, these red rocks and velvet ridges aren't going anywhere anytime soon and will continue to behold the stories of adventurers, trailblazers, and families as they create their own tapestries of memory and emotion. Hence, why family time up in these hills is so important to the locals.
I think it's good for the kids, it's good for them to grow up and enjoy nature and not the wildness of the world. You know, just enjoy what we've got, and so they can appreciate when they go to the city, they can appreciate coming back here and seeing what we have.
It's hard to be in the presence of something so vast, so breathtaking, and not feel something.
It's a beautiful place. I mean, I've lived here for 30 years and I see something new every day. It's amazing how much beauty is here.
Truly, there is no excuse not to make the time to explore these ridges and add your story to the many already created on this mountain precipice. I'm Stephen Human for At Your Leisure.
They're here. The latest game changers from Polaris. Ranger XP 1000, the most powerful Ranger ever. General 4, the off-road's most popular new crossover. And Ride Command, groundbreaking technology to connect you, your machine, and your friends like never before. See the best of 2017. Or grab a great deal on remaining 2016s. Get rebates up to $2,000 during the Polaris factory authorized clearance.
Don't let your next family outing end in tragedy. Don't drink and ride. Driving an OHV under the influence of alcohol is no different than driving your car under the influence of alcohol. Law enforcement officers will be out checking riders and operators of OHVs. You could end up seeing jail time, loss of driver's license, the same stiff penalties that apply to operating a car. This message is from the Utah Division of Parks and Recreation. Ride responsibly.
Rediscover your sense of adventure. Welcome to San Juan County. Discover the past. A change of place. Utah, San Juan County, where life is elevated.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Reagan Ledbetter, and we're at Hillside Tire and Service. I'm with Tom. We just call him the man because he's wonderful around here. He is in charge, and he knows the safety of tires and what to do about them. If I'm taking a family trip and I want to make sure I'm getting the most gas mileage that I can, you want the right tire pressure.
Absolutely. You want it right where it's recommended, and it says right on your door placard. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. If you're going to be towing, and you're going to want to increase that a little bit more, because what will happen is if you don't have enough air in it, you can see how it squats at the bottom.
Yes.
Well, when it squats, it's going to generate more heat. Heat and tires, they don't like each other. It'll cause an issue down the road. Potentially, worst case, it could cause the tire to go out on you.
You know what? The smell, it's kind of like coffee in the morning. The smell of rubber.
If you're going to be off-roading where there's rocks and gravel, you want to have probably something a little bit more openness, like an all-terrain tread face. It'll be more durable for you out in that type of climate. And just make sure you have a spare. That way, if you have any issues, you're able to get the spare back on and get back into civilization.
So you make sure you have the right tire, the right pressure in your tire, and if you're going on a road trip, to make sure you're getting
Ready
the
to
best
go.
fuel economy, because you don't want to be
Absolutely.
wasting money.
Correct.
In fact, now that you're getting me going about tires, it brings up some emotional times in my life where I've been on tires and just had the time of my life.
The first thing is all about safety and basically longevity of your product. So get your pressure checked, at the same time get your tread wear checked. The tread wear, if you're real thin on tread, you're more susceptible to things in the road that can cause flat repairs. So you just want to make sure you have the right amount of tread depth and the right amount of air pressure in your tires for safety and just longevity and so you can have a great trip.
Family trips, college keggers. All right, head over to Hillside Tire and Service. Tom, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
More At Your Leisure ahead.
When the road takes you farther than you knew possible, when the world is more beautiful than you've ever seen, when home is more comfortable than it should be, this is when you know you're in Kane County. The perfect mix of rural and urban, culture and adventure. Glendale, Orderville, Kanab, Bigwater, small towns with more to offer than just peace and quiet. Kane County, Utah. Find the new you.
In 1946, Reece City started a business built on exploration and family. He made his customers a promise that they would always find a friend when they walked into a dealership with the name Reece City. Now, 70 years later, that promise is fulfilled every day. We're still all about exploration and family. 70 years is a long time, but we are just getting started. Come in and celebrate our huge anniversary sale. Reece City RV off Riverdale Road in Roy, serving your family since 1946.
The Utah Farm Bureau has always been there to fight for the needs of its members. With discount programs on items ranging from vehicles and ATVs to health and wellness. The membership fees aren't big, but the results are. We've been around since 1916, and we're not leaving anytime soon. Utah Farm Bureau. We work for those who work to feed the world.
They're here. Ranger XP 1000, the most powerful Ranger ever. General 4, the off-road's most popular new crossover. And Ride Command, connecting you like never before. See the best of 2017. Or grab a great deal on remaining 2016s. Get rebates up to $2,000 during the Polaris Factory Authorized Clearance.
Well, welcome back to At Your Leisure. We decided to take a little break from the four-wheeling, and we found this gem of a little treasure trove of things to go do, didn't we?
Yes, we've used that word a lot today, Jim, but actually this was an old mining town. They took a lot of ore out of the hills around here, and they've got this historic city, or houses and post office and boot repair.
Well, it's a whole little city
set up, and you can go through it on Saturdays from, I think it's 11 to 3 that it's open, and it's just amazing to see what they worked with back then.
Yeah, they got a little post office, and all these buildings are pretty much original. They've kind of put them all together to make this little town. They've either drug them from one spot to another with horses.
With horses, it's pretty cool. So we're going to hear a little bit more about the history of Ophir and how it came to be and what you can see here. It's so amazing.
When's the last time you saw one of these?
Well, Ophir was one of the earlier mining properties in the Ophir Mountains, and they were mostly mining silver outcrops within the valley. It's really retained its natural wonders, and very few people come up here and don't tell me that this is something that they didn't even know was here. That's why I call it Ophir, heaven's sake. Are you looking? Okay, I'm gonna get him going. That's an Ophir gotcha. These little cabins were actually used by the miners.
You better call maid service here pretty quick. If they made prisons like this now, they would have less people in prison.
They were tearing down the house next to mine to build that new house there, and I went over and asked them what it would take to get that house, and they said, oh, you can have it as long as you get it out here in a couple of weeks. We moved the house up here on the lot we had and just set it up. Well, before long, I had 7 places up there.
So this is what most of them were like with it's like a studio apartment.
I'm surprised that more people don't know about it. There's so much fun things to do up here. Not just the ATV riding, but you can come up here and check out this town. There's all these, and it's all open, and just to be able to walk around, you don't have to be on a tour or anything, so it's really fun to kind of explore it.
What I love about Ophir is the fact that it puts you back in time. The ATV riding around here is great. It's 15 miles from the desert, 5 miles from the mountains, and it's just a little hidden place. I think we've kind of been found now, but from my perspective, it's wonderful. I love people.
Well, we really had a good time here in Ophir, and our tour guide Walt is absolutely a character, and he really has a lot to do with why all this stuff is here. He obviously has been in this area for a very long time, and it's made it kind of a cool place to come and see.
Yeah, he actually did the moving of the historical buildings and put them back together, and it's amazing. I can't get over how fantastic it is to go through this. The tour is fantastic. The little nuances that he's put into the houses are so much fun, and
all the work that's gone into restoring some of this stuff, and it's a neat little park that they made here. And that when you say you're coming to Ophir, I'm sure you're thinking, why would I go to Ophir?
And what's in Ophir?
What's in Ophir? But there's a lot to do in this little town. And it's a fun place to come and spend the day and have some fun.
This place is amazing. You really need to take the time and make the trip. It's fantastic. Right now we've got to go to our Trailhead Adventure, brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC.
And speaking of history, we've got Reece Stein at a Civil War battlefield at Shiloh. So let's check it out.
I'm Reece Stein, at your leisure, at the Shiloh Civil War Battlefield in Tennessee, a calm, beautiful, serene place dedicated to 2 of the bloodiest days in American history.
Cannons, monuments, and visitors are scattered across the 4,000-acre Shiloh National Military Park on the Tennessee-Mississippi border. America's second national military park, Shiloh is one of the best preserved, having survived a century and a half with little modern intrusion. With 23,746 casualties, the 2-day battle was, to that time, the bloodiest in American history, and the park and cemetery commemorate those who fought in this historic struggle around Shiloh Church, which lent its name to the battle. Ulysses S. Grant's 45,000-man Union Army prepared to attack Albert Sidney Johnson's Confederate force, thought to be 25 miles to the south. It wasn't.
At 4:55 a.m. on the morning of April 6, 1862, a Union reconnaissance party encountered the lead elements of Johnston's army here at Fraley Field, and the battle began.
Fraley Field is today a serene expanse of manicured grass, mostly true in shape to the farm field of 1862. At dawn, 4 rebel corps stormed through this field, overwhelming unprepared Union troops. Fightin' Bob Shaver's Arkansas Brigade led the way, pushing into the Union camps of Colonel Everett Peabody, marked by Shiloh's distinctive brigade monuments. A focal point of the park, the two-door Shiloh Meeting House around which the battle swirled, was faithfully rebuilt by the Park Service in 2001. The hand-hewn logs replicate early 19th century construction techniques. The original church, built by Methodists in 1853, was destroyed during the fighting. Shiloh features 150 monuments to various units, such as the 57th Ohio, commanded by Americus Vespucius Reece, tucked off the beaten path in a forest of oak and hickory. The adventure of Shiloh is seeking out these hidden memorials. More obvious are state monuments, including the 75-foot-tall Iowa column, the poignant Tennessee State statue, Arkansas, Wisconsin, and the Mississippi Memorial dedicated just last year. But the most profound and significant is the massive monument to rebel soldiers dedicated in 1917. Its central figures represent the Confederacy frustrated in defeat. On each end, the solemn expressions of soldiers as they realize their cause here is lost. The National Park Service has worked to keep the battlefield mostly as it was 154 years ago. All but 2 of the 229 artillery tubes are original war pieces retrieved after the war. The carriages are weatherproof replicas. Open grasslands closely resemble dimensions of the family farms of 1862. Today, only white-tailed deer do battle with the cannons at J.R. Duncan's cotton field. Undeveloped Shiloh is a paradise for native wildlife. On April 6, 1862, the 12th Iowa under Colonel Joseph J. Woods formed part of a defensive line along this sunken road bordering Duncan Field. For 5 hours, the rebels would launch 8 attacks, each repelled with the guns of the 1st Minnesota Light Artillery working continuously. Finally, at about 4:30, 52-year-old rebel General Daniel Ruggles gathered 62 cannons across the field and opened up on the sunken road defenders. Confederate soldiers surrounded the Union troops as they tried to escape through a narrow ravine. One Union commander was shot and killed, and at 5:30, the other, General Benjamin Prentiss, surrendered his entire 2,200-man Yankee force. Today, the lily pads at quiet Water Oaks Pond belie the intense fighting of April 7th. Union forces held off attacks at the pond, regained the offensive, and pushed the rebels out of Shiloh and back to their base at the railroad crossroads town of Corinth, Mississippi, where the Park Service maintains a visitor center and a unique commemorative courtyard fountain tracing the growth of the United States through the Civil War. The National Park Service, which celebrates its 100th anniversary this year, preserves 25 national battlefield parks as eternal reminders of the struggles it took to create the country we now enjoy. Reece Stein at your leisure at Shiloh National Battlefield Park, Tennessee.
In a place that is beyond words, there is nothing to be said, except take your time in Bryce Canyon country.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. There's a Polaris to match your passion. Whether you ride mud, rocks, dunes, or trails, Razor leads the way. With unequaled power, unrivaled suspension, unmatched agility, and unbeatable comfort. Perfectly combined to chase what matters. Lifelong memories with friends and family.
There's a little place on a Utah map where I was raised where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
Well, welcome back to At Your Leisure.
We have had such a great time here in Ophir, which is in the Oquirrh Mountains outside of Tooele in Tooele County.
Yeah,
right?
you can see this beautiful campground here that we've been staying at. And you know, you can come up here and rent this out for the weekend and go four-wheeling right from here. It really is a beautiful spot.
It's been amazing. The trails are fantastic and they're everywhere. You could go for miles and miles here. But what we've been doing is we've been looking at all these cars in the parking lot, and there are a lot of AYL stickers.
Yeah, it was tough to choose one.
But we did find one here, and this is our winner for this week. The license plate number is X743EF. So call us and win your prize, which is?
You've got a family pass for 4 to Fast Carts, and they have a facility in Ogden, Provo, and Salt Lake. So it's a great time to take your family and go do a little racing.
It's so much fun.
Yes, you might have to take Jaden with you because she loves to go.
Yeah, she loves to go. Right now, let's take a look at next week's show.
Hi, I'm Chad Booth. Next week on At Your Leisure, we are going to take a four-wheel drive downhill adventure, one of the most rugged vehicles you have ever seen. No, not that one, this one. Darren and I will be preparing the Barbie Jeep and racing it in the Barbie Jeep Invitational Downhill Race. See how well we do as a team.
Well, it has been a fabulous day, great trails, great people. Thank you so much to Steadman's for allowing us to tag along on their Customer Appreciation Day.
I know, we're kind of a pain in the butt when we're out on these things.
Oh no, right? You think they think that? I hope not.
No, but if you'd like to check out this area, you can stop into Steadman's. Every time we come out to Tooele County, I always think, oh, we're just going out to the desert, and we always seem to find another little gem out here that's really fun to go ride. And if you'd like to come out here, go into Steadman's. They have maps in there, they have the trail CD, or you can ask pretty much anybody in the store where this is, and they'll point you up here because it's really easy to find.
Everybody was so nice and we had just a great time.
So remember, get out and create your own adventure.
At your leisure.
Just enjoy it. But speaking, oh, you forgot the Rocky Mountain ATV.
No, I didn't forget. Oh, you just walked over me.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Chad Booth from At Your Leisure. I hope you just enjoyed the YouTube video that you just watched. Now, remember, we come up with new videos like this every single week, so you might want to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a single story that we have out. Now, you can also share us with all of your friends on social media. Here's how to do it right here, and that way they can have fun too. If you want detailed information, we of course have our website, ayltv.com, and from there you can find out which television stations we broadcast on, so you never have to spend a day without your fix of family-oriented outdoor recreation adventure. Plus, don't forget we have really cool contests.